In September of 2022, I got my first Upwork client as a graphic designer, and this client paid me $10 for 2 designs. We worked together for a month before he ghosted me. Now, I tried sending out more proposals to more jobs, but I didn't get any other job because Upwork is actually very competitive, right? In fact, before I got this one, I actually sent out a lot of proposals. I had used a lot of Connect, right? But then I didn't get any other clients again until around June or July of 2023 when this same client that ghosted me messaged me again and said, yes, we can actually continue working together. Around October of that same 2023, I got another client on Upwork, even though this particular client actually stressed my life so well. Now, after this client, I got a few more clients. And between that September of 2022, when I got my first client, and December of 2024, that was last year, I made about $300 plus cumulatively from Upwork. This was in over 2 years. I earned just $300 plus cumulatively on Upwork. I mean, we could say that maybe because I wasn't so consistent with the platform, since I wasn't getting jobs and I was spending a lot of connect, so it was so draining and it was so frustrating, right? Now, since Upwork was no longer working for me like I thought, so I actually decided to change what I was doing on Upwork. So before I was working as a graphic designer, but then it felt like graphic design was competitive, right? It felt like, okay, it was so difficult to get clients on Upwork as a graphic designer because when a new job is posted, before you just say Jack Robinson, about 20 proposals have been sent already for that job. Like that makes the whole thing very competitive. So I decided to switch niches. I decided to switch the services I was offering on Upwork to LinkedIn profile optimization services. LinkedIn profile, just about LinkedIn profile, since I've grown to over 15,000 followers on LinkedIn, and so I have the track record, and I believe that will give me like a comparative advantage over other freelancers on Upwork for that kind of job, right? So I started applying and I got a job on January 1st, 2025. The job paid me $100 just to create the profile and to work on the profile for a particular brand. Now, one would think after I got this job, with this job now, it made my cumulative earnings on Upwork $400 plus, right? I mean, if you have been doing the calculation, I said from September of 2022 to December of 2024, I earned just $300 plus in earnings, cumulative earnings from Upwork. And then in a month, right, on January 1st of 2025, I made like $100. I got a job that paid me $100 for profile optimization. And so I kept applying for those kind of jobs, but I wasn't really getting those kind of jobs. So around March of 2025, this was like a few months ago, I then decided to switch back to graphic design because at the end of the day, I do not really have so much track records with LinkedIn profile optimization because I had not optimized a lot of profiles. So, I mean, I knew that it was going to be difficult in a way to actually prove my worth because I didn't have a portfolio. I didn't even have a portfolio for profile optimization. But then for graphic design, I have a very solid portfolio. So I feel like I have like a comparative advantage. I feel like I have an AI advantage at getting jobs that are graphic design related. Just that this time around, I was a bit strategic with it. And what I did transformed my game on Upwork totally, such that between the March 28th, right, between March 28th towards the end of March, right, and April and up to now, right, this is May. Today is May 3rd, right? Today is May 3rd. So between April 1st and now, I've earned times two, about times two, more than times two of my cumulative earnings from September of 2022 to December of 2024. Because between April and now, I have earned like over $400 from Upwork. This is just in less than a month, right? I've earned over $400 from that same Upwork. money that I made in like over 2 years, I made it in just 1 month. Now, you would think it is luck, but it is not luck because I actually did something different. I mean, God actually breathed on my efforts, but at the end of the day, I also did something different that's completely transformed my game. I became more strategic, and I'm going to be sharing with you the strategy I used, as well as other things that would actually help your Upwork journey and help you to get jobs. Whether you're a smartphone designer or you use PC to design, it doesn't really matter here. So long as you create designs and you're actually good at creating designs and you actually have a solid portfolio, stick around and pay attention because I'm going to be spilling the tea. How I was able to times two my Upwork earnings in a month, my 2 years Upwork earnings, and I was able to type two it in less than a month. See you in the video. All right, so what I'm going to be sharing with you is what I actually spelled out in different points, right? Because I do not want to keep repeating points and I do not want to keep talking and just talking and talking, right? So I actually spelled them out in like different points, which I'm going to be touching on I'm going to be touching on them one after the other. I want you to really pay attention. So the first thing here is that I actually re-optimized my profile. I'm sharing with you what I did that helped me put that kind of result, that in a month I was able to earn as much as I earned in more than 2 years from the same Upwork, right? The first thing I did was to re-optimize my profile. This was in March. So I felt like it was beginning to get difficult to get a job in LinkedIn profile optimization, and it was crazy because I literally diverted my profile to just that. So it wasn't like I was combining it with graphic design. And one thing is that if I have that kind of profile, it will be difficult for me to get graphic design related jobs because before clients give you jobs on Upwork, most times they check your profile out to actually see what you've been up to actually see, just to further convince them if you are the right guy for them. So I had to now change everything back to graphic design again. Then I made some tweaks in my profile. Before that, I actually went to Upwork and I searched for talent, graphic designers, top rated graphic designers on Upwork. I use my PC for that, right? But if you are using just your phone, you can just go to your Chrome browser or whatever browser you are using, then change it to desktop site, right? So that you can actually access that feature where you can search talents. So I just searched for, okay, top rated graphic designers, and then I was given different lists. So I also streamlined the list to where I stay in Nigeria so that I would see how top-rated graphic designers from Nigeria are doing on Upwork and how they were able to put the results they pull since we're in the same environment, right? And the same conditions might apply to us, right? So I check their profile, check out the way the profile is. Then also, I actually even check out graphic designer beyond just Nigeria. I look at their profile, I go inspiration from their description, go inspiration from their title, and just go inspire with the way their profile is. And from there, I adjusted my profile, I tweaked my profile, I re-optimized my profile, and then I just adjusted different things. I also adjusted my portfolio on Upwork. Not my main portfolio because I have a portfolio outside of Upwork, but then even my portfolio, my catalog, right? I think it's called catalog on Upwork, where you put some of your projects so that anyone that come to your profile will actually just go through and see some of your past projects on Upwork without even having to leave the platform. So I think I also adjusted that. Basically, I readjusted my profile. I also readjusted my earnings. I was in touch with a guy who was pulling crazy result from Upwork, and so I also hit him up, and he also guided me, right? So I optimized my profile. It told me that okay, I should increase my earnings because I actually had reduced my earnings, hoping that maybe it would help me to actually get more jobs because I mean clients would feel like I'm cheaper and all of that. But it was like saying that it would stress me because the kind of client it will attract to be client that will stress me. So I increased my earnings to $9.5 per hour. Now I could have increased this to $10, but I just feel like, you know what, $10 is very common. So let me just do something out of the usual. So I used 9.5 per hour. That was what I put on my profile, and I just re-optimized my profile. Basically, that was the first thing I did. The second thing I did was that I created an irresistible cover letter template. Now, this was created by me. This was my cover letter template. I actually use AI in a way to also tweak some things just to perfect it. But then, originally, I mean, the cover letter template is original to me, and I got it by looking at my other cover letter that worked, that actually put crazy results. I draw ideas from those ones because if a cover letter actually was able to get me a job, it means that that cover letter actually has potential. So I actually just, I mean, I'm saying actually too much, right? So I paid attention to that, and then I worked on drafting a very solid cover letter that cannot be resisted, such that I got to a point that I was so sure that if a client can view my proposal, like so long as the client view my proposal, there is every possibility that I will get the job. Like if I send 10 proposals out, and then let's say 7 of those proposals were viewed, at least I should get 3 jobs, because those proposals, the proposal I had was very, very striking. I won't be able to share it. I mean, I'm so sorry, I won't be able to share it. But then you can always maximize ChatGPT, right, in drafting a solid proposal, right? I could share one of the templates anyways, right? I could share one of my templates. Maybe that would help. Maybe you could just pick from things. It wouldn't be wise of you to pick my template and use it directly. That would not be wise, because even the template I created for myself, I actually still adjust it sometimes to fit the job description of the particular job I want to apply for. So I don't just copy and paste it. I look at the job description and then I tweak the template to fit into that job so that it can feel personalized for that job. Because if you send out just a random cover letter template to your client, sometimes the client can pick it, and that will just make you lose even your opportunity, right, of getting the job. You might not even get the opportunity to actually bag that job, right, because the client will feel like you are not serious, because it will be obvious that, oh no, this particular cover letter is a template, like you didn't read the job description. And clients do not want those kind of people, especially Upwork clients. They want you to read the job description, and that your cover letter will actually reflect that you read the job description. So I created an irresistible cover letter template for myself, and so I also adjusted it, and I always tweak it to fit into the particular job I'm applying for at a particular time. That was the second thing I did. The third thing I did is that I applied for jobs that I have very high chance of getting. I mentioned something earlier, that I made my cover letter such that if I apply for 10 jobs and 7 proposals were viewed, at least I should get 3 jobs, right? And understand that these jobs I apply for are jobs that I am sure that I have high chance of getting. Now, how do I know that I have high chance of getting a job? The kind of jobs I apply for, like I confidently apply for an Upwork, are jobs that have to do with LinkedIn banners, or like social media designs for LinkedIn, or like carousel designs for LinkedIn. So long as it has to do with LinkedIn or LinkedIn profile optimization, I still apply for that sometimes, right? So I apply for those kind of jobs. And why am I so confident that I have high chance of getting those kind of jobs? Because my profile on LinkedIn is so optimized, and I've built a large following on LinkedIn. So I know that my LinkedIn profile is such that if anyone stumbles on my LinkedIn profile from Upwork, let's say I apply for a job that has to do with LinkedIn, and the client actually check out my LinkedIn profile, which I used to attach to my cover letters anyways. If anyone check out my profile, I have high chance of getting the job compared to most freelancers that also apply for that same job. So that is how I'm able to measure my chance of getting a particular job. So you most likely will find me applying more to jobs that have to do with LinkedIn, because I have a track record on LinkedIn that is so solid, and that actually will make me get jobs easily, right? And looking at my track record, it has actually been working, because the 3 jobs I said I got between around March ending, I think around March 28, between March 28 and April 2nd, those jobs, most of them had to do with LinkedIn. Yeah, most of them actually had to do with LinkedIn. And in fact, one of the jobs, I contacted the client outside of Upwork, right? so that she would actually view my proposal on Upwork. I'm going to get to that. That's one of my points here, because that would also, I mean, that made it easy for me to get the job. She was already even interviewing. I think when I look at it, she was already interviewing some other clients, some other freelancers at the time. But just because I messaged her on LinkedIn and then she saw my message and then I told her that, oh, I would love to work with you. I mentioned her name because I mean I picked that from her profile, from our job, from our client history, right? Because when you click on a job description on Upwork and then you scroll down, you can see the client history. From there, some of the freelancers that he or she has worked with before would mention a name or his name, and that was how I was able to pick the client's name from there. And for this particular client, for one of the clients rather, it was even easy for me to get her name because from the job description, she mentioned her full name. She spelled out her full name on LinkedIn because she wanted whomever she will work with to go through her profile first and then suggest, because she wanted also a consultation session so that at least the freelancer will also be able to offer some advice and tips that would help her. So from there, it was actually easy because her full name was spelled out in the job description. All I had to do was just to go to LinkedIn and just paste the full name, and I got a profile on LinkedIn. Then I messaged her and told her that how are you doing? I saw your job posting on Upwork, and then I think I will just attach the screenshot of what I sent to her on LinkedIn around this video so that you can see exactly what I sent to her. And she replied and she checked out my proposal. And even though she was already viewing, I think she was already interviewing some other client, I got the job. And she's hands down one of the best clients I've ever worked with in my over 4 years of designing. Like, she made the whole thing so easy for me. She paid me so well, and it was so amazing working with her, right? Because she made the whole thing so easy for me. One of the best clients I've worked with, right? So back to the point, understand the fact that you should not just apply to any design job you see, any kind of job you see, right? Ensure that the jobs you apply for are the jobs that you have high chance of getting. Maybe based on the fact that in your portfolio you have more designs, you've created more crazy designs in that particular niche, right? Or because you already have a platform elsewhere that will give you a comparative advantage over other freelancers that you feel will apply for that job. That way, it makes it easy for your client or for the client to actually pay more attention to your cover letter and like pay attention to you and maybe even give you the job. Now, there's a point I did not have here, but I just remember, and I know will greatly help you. Ensure that the first few letters, right, or the first few lines, the first few sentences of your cover letter are so striking that it will drive your client in to check your proposal. See, even till now, this is something that I'm still trying to, this is a code I'm still trying to hack on Upwork, and it's going to be difficult because sometimes, in fact, sometimes your name don't even come up to the top names, and that's why clients do not view your proposal, right? I sent out a lot of proposals on Upwork that were never viewed, like a lot, like more than 20 proposals. I mean, altogether since I've been on Upwork, I've sent out more than 30 cover letters have been sent out that were never viewed by clients. In fact, there were some of them that I was so sure that if the client saw my cover letter, I would have gotten the job. Like, I was so sure because the job description fits in my profile, fits in what I can do, fits in my cover letter. Like, it is so perfect. But many times, clients don't even view my cover letter. Like, it makes it so difficult sometimes to actually even get jobs, right? But one thing that could increase your chance of getting, because one thing about Upwork is that the client will first of all have to view your proposal. Then if your cover letter, your cover letter, when your client view your proposal, that is the client view your cover letter, read your cover letter. If it's striking enough, then the client would want to take things a bit further with you by giving you the job, by interviewing you. Then when you pass the interview, you get the job. But then if the client did not even see your cover letter, or before the client gets your cover letter, if the client had seen one that actually appealed to him or her, the client could go with the person and then you are left hanging. So your cover letter will not even be viewed, talk less of you getting the job or you making it to the interview stage and you getting the job. Like, that reduces your chances so well. But then there are some other people that the client even, their name shows up, their cover letter pops up, right, on the client's view on the client's page, right? But then the client don't even click on their name to view their cover letter, because their cover letter is not even striking enough to draw the client in to want to view. And so you have to pay attention to the first few sentences, to the first set of sentences of your cover letter. Ensure that they are so striking, right? From the template I'm going to share with you, you can just look at my my first few sentences. You see that like they are so striking that any client will want to check. Like they are not just random intros, right? I can call them intros. Yeah, they are called intros. So I make it such that the client will already feel like, yes, this is that guy. This is that guy that can actually help me handle this particular job. Like that is how I really pay attention to the first few sentences in my cover letter. Now, another point I have here is I don't apply for jobs that already has over 10 proposals. I don't usually apply for jobs that already have more than 10 proposals, because what that means is that, like I mentioned earlier, there are many times that when you apply for jobs, your proposal don't even come up, right? The client has seen like maybe about 5 proposals before yours, right? And then the client has just picked one of those 5 proposals before they even get you. Maybe one was the 15th cover letter, right? So, but then the client just viewed the first 5 and then already picked somebody, and then the person already got the job. So your cover letter has not even viewed, and so you didn't even stand a chance of getting the job. So, as much as possible, apply to jobs as much as you can that have less than 5 proposals. It increases your chances like crazy, right? I'm assuming that you don't have a lot of connect. Even I could have said, okay, you could actually boost your proposal, right? You can boost your cover letter. There's that feature. If you use Upwork a lot, you will know that you can actually bid high, where you can add more connect, you can spend more connect. In fact, sometimes the connect some people even spend is more than the connect that is required for that job. Imagine a job requiring 10 connect and somebody spend 20 extra connect just to bid high, just to allow the proposal to be around the top 4. I mean, it's that crazy because Upwork is now competitive. But then, if you do not have that luxury, I would advise that as much as possible, be early to jobs, be early to jobs, be early to jobs. If you see a particular job that already has 20 to 50 proposals, don't apply. If you see a job that already has 50 plus proposals, don't apply. If you see a job that the client sent out invites to 10 plus persons, 5 plus persons already, don't apply, because most likely, if one of the persons that the client sent invite to reply, the client will go with the person, because before the client sent invite to the person, the client saw something on the person's profile that made the client to send invite. So don't waste your connect. This will help you conserve your connect so well. As much as possible, when you see a job that has like 10 plus proposals, don't bother applying. If it is still 5 to 10 proposals, then you can still give it a shot. But if it is now 10 to 15 or 10 plus, anything above 10, I will advise that you don't apply, because your chances of getting that job is already low. Except you have enough connect to bid high, which I won't even really advise, especially if you are just starting on Upwork, or if Upwork has not started really paying you so well, so that you don't really waste your connect, so that you can have high chance of applying for other jobs where you may stand high chance of getting. And like I said again, I'm going to repeat it. If there is a job that already has high number of invites, maybe the client already invited like 5 persons, you always see it when you click on the job description and you scroll down. You will see all of these details, right? You see all of the details of the number. Maybe if the client already interviewing someone, don't also apply for any job that the client's already interviewing someone. Don't apply. If you can see that the client's already interviewing 1 person, 2 people, or 3 people, don't bother applying again. You are just going to waste your connect. If you see that the client has sent out invites to like 5 plus persons, maybe 5, maybe 8, maybe 10, some clients even send out invites to as high as 30 persons, don't bother applying, because the client is most likely going to pick one of the persons that he sent invites to. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't still get the job, but then your chances are very low, and you do not want to take that kind of risk, especially if you do not have so much connect to lose. I won't advise that. So ensure that the job that you're applying for have usually less than 5 proposals. So what this means is that you need to be active on Upwork to an extent, so that once you click on that most recent, right, any job that that first pop-up, like the recent job, and you feel like that job fits into your description, fits into your profile, fits into your skill, fits into your portfolio, give it a shot. You might have a high chance of actually getting that job. The next point I have here is that try to message the client off Upwork. Now, there are many clients that in their job description, they write it, they spell it out that don't message me outside of Upwork for this job. Don't chat with those clients, because automatically that makes you disqualified from even getting that job. But for this particular client, and like I've done for a few other clients, I message them like from their profile. I say when you click on job description and you scroll down, you get to see some details about the client, right? You get to see like different things about the client, where the client stays, the client hire rates, the number of open jobs, and some other details there, which are also very important. But I don't just want to go into all of them, because in this video, I just want to share with you how I was able to 2 times my earnings on Upwork in just a month, right? And so you can also message the client off Upwork, maybe on LinkedIn, right? I use LinkedIn because I believe that LinkedIn already gives me an edge, because I've built my profile to a solid point. I have like over 15,000 followers, and then I have my experiences on my profile. I have like a very optimized profile. So anybody that stumble on my profile, the person will most likely get sold. So that's why I use LinkedIn. I find a way to actually, like I said, I apply for jobs that mostly have to do with LinkedIn, LinkedIn carousel, LinkedIn banner design, LinkedIn this and LinkedIn that. So I already guessed that for this client to actually put this job on Upwork, it means this client has a LinkedIn profile. So I just leverage on that. Then from the client history, sometimes, it's not every time, sometimes you get to see the name, maybe the first name, or sometimes you might even be lucky to see the full name of the client, maybe spelled out by one of the freelancers that he has worked with or she has worked with before. From there, you can just get the clue, and then you go to LinkedIn, and then you do your little FBI work, and you might be lucky to find the client, and then you can just hit the client up and message the client. Now, you can also do this on Facebook, you can also do this on Instagram. I use LinkedIn because I have like a comparative advantage on LinkedIn. I believe I have like a comparative advantage on LinkedIn over others because of the platform I've built there and because of the presence that I have there. Right, so these are the points I have, and this was the thing that actually really helped me pull those jobs. Right, I could keep going on and on about LinkedIn, but then I just wanted to mention the things that really helped me. See, you can't engage all of the things I've shared with you and you won't get results. It's not possible, and it doesn't matter whether you use smartphone to design or PC. I've worked with clients that actually demand that you use some particular software like Photoshop, like Illustrator. But I've also worked with clients that demanded that you use Canva, and you can use your smartphone for Canva, right? I personally will encourage any designer, if you're a smartphone designer, it will be very foolish. No insult, right? But it wouldn't be a wise thing for you to be arguing that, okay, Canva is better than Pixel Lab is better than Canva. You don't have that time. Like, there are better things to do with your time. Instead of participating in that argument, use the time you would have used to argue that and not win. Use it to learn Canva. Use it to learn how to use as many tools as you can. You are using smartphone, that means you're already even in a way disadvantaged, because if a client sees someone that's using smartphone, sees someone that's using PC, the client will most likely get inclined to someone that's using PC. I started my design journey with smartphone, but now I have 2 PC because I got 2 PCs, I upgraded, and sometimes I still use smartphone, even though now I don't really have an Android phone at the moment. So I'm saying that as much as possible, learn how to use these tools, Canva, right? Because if you are very good at using Canva, you also increase your high chances of getting jobs that fit so well. But even if you use Pixel Lab, there are some other clients that don't care what tool you use, they just want you to deliver. Now, this might kind of limit you on Upwork in a way, because you may not be able to apply to jobs or apply for jobs that would demand that you use a particular tool, but at least you can apply for other ones that do not have those kind of strict requirements. See, Upwork can work for you, right? I'm still learning on Upwork, so I'm not coming off as somebody that had it all figured out on Upwork. No, right? I'm still learning on Upwork. I'm still trying to get jobs and all of that. But then this is a result I pulled in less than 1 month, and trust me, it is so mind blowing, right? I really cannot take all the credit for this. I have to, at the end of the day, it is God, right? But then these are the things I did that I believe made it easy for God to actually work, right? Because faith without work is dead, right? So, but these are some of the works that I put in place that actually made my faith to work and made it easy for God to bless the work of my hand. I believe everything I've shared has greatly helped you. If it has helped you, please let me know in the comments. In my mentorship class, right, in my design mentorship, smartphone graphic design mentorship class, a very detailed class that cover brand identity design with smartphone, covers different kind of designs with smartphones, and covers even content creation as a graphic designer, how to build a personal brand as a creative on LinkedIn. Upwork too is there, right? That was where I was going. That particular mentorship class has more details around Upwork, how to set up your Upwork profile, like different things around Upwork. If you are interested in actually getting the recordings of that mentorship class that I had with some of my students, I have a giveaway currently going on. You can just check the description box of this video. You'll get all the details that you need about that giveaway, because you get to have access to the design class and also Upwork, like details about Upwork. I believe that will greatly really help you. So right now, check the description box of this video or check the comments. You'll just see it somewhere around the video, and you can take advantage of the discount opportunity, right? If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, right? I want you to keep seeing videos from this channel, and so you do not want to leave this video without subscribing. Subscribe right now, like this video, and share this video with any designer that you know. Ensure that you share this video with as many designers as you can. Share it in your WhatsApp status, share it in design communities, and just share with designers that you know. I'm going to see you in the next one.